I don't think that you understand. Mental clutter can keep you in a loop of overthinking, procrastination, and decision fatigue that runs so deep it feels like it's a part of your personality. If you're ready to break the cycle of secretly self-sabotaging yourself, I'm so glad that you joined me for this episode, honey. If you're ready to get started, get your pen, get your post-it, get your ambition planner, and let's go. Hello, Ambition Babes. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Dion, also known as the Face of Ambition, across all social media platforms as well as wherever you stream your podcast. I help women 40 years and older who are on a reinvention journey, who are ready to glow up and are tired of doing the same old thing the same old way and expecting different results. However, if you clicked on this video and you are not over the age of 40, just consider me your bougie auntie that is wanting to put you on game so that you don't have to experience the same things that I have. And today we're talking about a topic that I wish I didn't know so well. I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years, and I have secretly sabotaged myself emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, and professionally for way too long. And that sabotage came in the form of mental clutter. So today I'm not going to tell you anything that I read. I'm not going to tell you anything that I thought. I'm not even going to tell you anything that I saw on somebody else's video, baby. I'm going to tell you something that I know. But before we get started, each and every one of you know somebody that you want to level up with you. This reinvention journey can be lonely if you decide to do it by yourself. So I want you to go ahead and like this video, make sure that you subscribe, and send this to your sister, your best friend, your mama, or your partner. And if you have been needing a mentor, someone to hold you accountable to reaching your most ambitious goals, I want to remind you that Clickish membership is currently open. Inside of Clickish, I am your personal mentor that holds your hand every single step of the way, helping you to be able to identify your action steps, partnering you with a like-minded woman who is going to be able to support you while you're on your journey, meet with you bi-weekly, communicate with you daily, pray for you, support you, and encourage you while you're on your ambitious journey. So if that is something that you're interested in, please make sure that you click the link in my description and join Clickish right now while membership is still available. Okay, girl, here are some of the ways that we have been secretly sabotaging our success and are ready to break the cycle. This might just be me, but perhaps you're waiting to be ready. You haven't taken action because you're waiting to feel ready. You're waiting for the perfect mindset, the motivation, and the moment to get started. But I got some bad news for you, sis. That moment may never happen. Or perhaps you're guilty of over-planning and underacting. You keep researching, tweaking, or launching the idea that God blessed you with years or maybe even decades ago. Or maybe you shrink yourself around small-minded people. You downplay your goals or play yourself small so that you can stay relatable, also known as a people pleaser, all with the idea of not making other individuals feel uncomfortable. You've got this mindset of like, I don't want them to think that I've changed. Although the whole point of you reinventing and rebranding yourself is to be somebody else. The person that you've always been has not served you. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with waking up today or tomorrow and deciding that today's the day that I change absolutely everything about myself. Perhaps you're a romantic and you've romanticized your old life. You've forgotten how uncomfortable change is, and you start desiring and yearning for days of old whenever you would sleep in, wear sweatpants all day, didn't work out or eat well, had really low or no expectations, and you're currently starting to resent the fact that you walked away from your old life. You've actually said things to yourself like, my last life really wasn't that bad. Meanwhile, you was getting on your nerves and everybody else's. Perhaps you're the girl who says yes whenever they actually mean no. You stretch yourself so thin, and you put your plans on pause to please others, all with the idea of not wanting to disappoint anyone. But the only one that wakes up disappointed every single day is you. You may fill your schedule because you think it's cute to be busy. You compare your process to someone else's peak. You scroll and sabotage your confidence before the momentum has even been built. Every time you look at another picture, all you think to yourself is how behind you are. You snooze on the systems, thinking that you actually have the willpower, instead of identifying the structure that is going to help keep you accountable to the things that you said you wanted to do. You refuse to ask for help and you suffer in silence, all with this mindset of not wanting to be a burden. Or you've decided that you want to start over as opposed to starting from right where you are. You just keep deleting the progress and changing the plans and moving back the goalposts before you've even given yourself an opportunity to see results. You've literally convinced yourself that this version isn't working, so you need a fresh start. As opposed to starting from right where you left off, keep that little morsel of momentum that you have, move the deadline date over a few spaces, and keep going. I know that we've all secretly sabotaged ourselves, or maybe that list just applied to me. But what I had to do was to figure figure out a way to stop the sabotage cycle. 3 methods that I'm going to share with you today that I use almost every single day to help myself stay mentally decluttered. Each of the methods that I'm going to go over with you today is going to require you to make a decision that yesterday was the very last day that you're going to give 80% of your energy to what only gives you 5% of a return. We're so good at giving all of our energy to the thing that is actually not going to yield absolutely anything. It's like painting a whole room and deciding that you're going to blow it dry with your breath. You might be able to get some of the area dry, but mostly you're just wasting your time. So for this first method, I don't have a name for it yet. I call it the pie chart method, but if you can think of a more unique name, I would love for you to leave it in the comment section, because this is something I'm going to add to the Ambition Planner. That's if and when we get over these tariffs and I can actually afford to purchase them. Yeah, that's a conversation for another day. Y'all just pray for your girl. But this charting method is where I take each and every task that I need to complete for the day and I assign to it a percentage of mental weight or its impact towards my goals. So let me explain this concept. Once you've identified the task that you need to complete for the day, I want you to decide what percentage of mental energy each of these tasks is going to require. Oftentimes, when we create a task list, the low priority tasks take up way too much of our mental energy. And because they're low priority and traditionally something that is easy to complete, we decide we want to start with those things first. But this is the complete opposite idea. I've been rereading Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It has just reminded me how important it is for us to identify the hardest tasks that we have to complete and eat that frog first. After you've identified all of your tasks, you're going to identify exactly how much mental weight you're going to give to each of those tasks and plug them into your pie chart. Responding to the petty DMs or sending your friends that encouraging meme for the day probably should take about 5% of your energy. Cleaning your closet out, perhaps 10%. Launching the new idea or business concept, 40%. And having that hard conversation that is going to bring you peace and confidence may weigh in at about 30%. Not all of the things that are going to help you to reach your goals have to do with tasks that you can actually write out on the computer. Having difficult conversations that clear the air removes emotional clutter that can also be causing you to sabotage your success. We put a lot of weight and emphasis on the fact that I need to get these tasks done and that's what's going to help me to be successful. When sometimes it is scheduling an appointment with your therapist that is actually the thing that is going to help you to reach any of your ambitious goals. Your high impact tasks, even if they seem extremely hard, are going to bring you peace, progress, and increase your confidence. And using this charting method as a visual representation of you actively working towards your goals. In Eat That Frog, Brian Tracy really breaks down how we will do absolutely anything to avoid doing hard tasks. The most impactful tasks are the ones that we should absolutely do first, but they're the ones that we meet with the most resistance and we put off and procrastinate to doing last. We also feel this great sense of overwhelm because we've not identified a system that is going to give us the structure that we need in order to prioritize our task. Which brings me to my second method on how you can stop secretly sabotaging your success. And I'm going to warn you, this method may seem extremely simple, but it's highly effective. And that is doing a brain dump. I'm not really a fan of the word brain dump. I prefer to call it a clarity catcher, which is how we will be referring to it inside of the Ambition Planner. But this is the space where you take absolutely everything out of your mind and leave it on a piece of paper. This gives you the opportunity to release all of the mental pressure that you have without judgment. Small tasks, big tasks, things you should have done years ago. Urgent or even random tasks will live on this paper, and this is where you're going to be able to organize your thoughts. Like I said, the clarity catcher is very simple but extremely effective. We've taken a simple piece of paper and broke it into 4 spaces. In each of these spaces, you're going to identify the tasks that you need to do right now. Those are traditionally your big frog tasks, the ones that are going to move the needle in your business. They hold a form of urgency, or they're a large enough task that perhaps this is the absolutely only thing that you should work on all week long. The next section is to do it next. Once you've taken all of the tasks that are in your do it now section, you've broken them into your pie chart, understanding what level of urgency each of these really important tasks hold. What do you need to do next? This section might be just as important as the do it now section, but perhaps there are tasks that you're going to have to place in chronological order. The do it next section will hold really important tasks, but you got to do the first section first in order to get to the do it next. The third section is to do it soon. Perhaps these are things that you associate with a date or need to be done before the end of the month or quarter. They have urgency. They may even have a percentage of mental weight assigned to it. It is something that you definitely want to remember, but you don't have to do it right now. I find myself operating in the do it soon section all the time. When I'm putting off things that are my big frog, I'll do the things that I need to do soon because they are important, but they are in no way going to help me reach any of my goals. I've been wanting a new light that goes in the back of my desk back here for months. I've seen a few, I've put a few in my cart, something that I really want to do, and it's something that I need to do soonish. But girl, when I'm trying to sabotage my success, it will be the most important thing that I have to get done as soon as my cheeks hit the seat 8 a.m. on a Monday morning, knowing good and well that I have a project that is due on Tuesday afternoon. And the last section is to do it later. Perhaps buying a new lamp for my back desk is something that I could definitely do later. And when I start writing things out, I can see that maybe I should slide it over from one section to the next. Answering the petty DM definitely goes in the do it later section. Perhaps even things that seem as if they're important, like getting an oil change or going to get your hair done, can be pushed into the do it later section of your task list because it's absolutely something that you can put off until later, and it is not going to affect you actually reaching your goals for this week. Only you can decide what goes inside of this task list, but using a clarity catcher allows you the opportunity to see exactly what it is that you need to get done. You now have a system and structure that is going to help you feel mentally in control, and you'll start to realize that you're not feeling overwhelmed and you're not procrastinating on getting these tasks done. And the last method that has ended my sabotage cycle is journaling. I know that you've heard about the power of journaling for years now, and you may never have tried it. Or perhaps you try it and you're not consistent. But if you feel as if you are mentally cluttered, you're stuck in a loop of doing the same old thing the same old way, and you can't seem to get out, you're going to need to take all of those thoughts and put them somewhere else. When I get overwhelmed, I imagine my thoughts as literal bags. It's like trying to carry all 15 of those Trader Joe paper bags up 3 flights of stairs. It's just too heavy. It seemed like a good idea whenever you got out the car because you didn't want to go back downstairs. But now that you're halfway through the first few stairs on the first flight, you realize that this was a mistake. It had been easier for you to just be able to get all of it out of your mind, put it into someplace else, and waited and came back for more later. Taking just a few moments to write out your thoughts and your feelings, to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling or how something has affected you, validates your emotions, may even help you identify what emotion you are feeling, and gives you a sacred space where you can work out your problems. We all have problems, sis, and we've got them today and we're going to have them again on tomorrow. But what journaling allows you to do is to see that you have a problem and offer yourself the solution to solve it. I love yet hate the fact that Mel Robbins said, "No one's coming." Every time I hear her say it, it just hurts my feelings because I feel like someone's coming to rescue me. Someone's just going to burst through the door and give me all of the solutions that I've ever had to any of my big problems. But the reality of it is that truly no one else is coming. It's up to you to figure it out. In you, everything that it takes to figure out exactly what to do with whatever problem you're facing. But you need a space to leave it. You need a place to problem solve. Imagine trying to solve a math problem in your head, and it's 20 and 30 years after you left high school and trying to figure out an algebra problem. Perhaps you can still solve for y and figure out the algebraic expression, but it's going to be 10 times easier if you write it down as opposed to trying to solve the algebraic expression in your head. Traditionally, when we journal, we don't lie to ourselves. We tell the truth. We talk about people. You start to say how you really feel about a situation, a conversation, where you are in life, where you want to go, who you want to be, and how you're going to get there. But if we never allow ourselves just a few moments to sit in silence and to be one with our thoughts, imagine all of the power that is passing you by, the clarity that is eluding you, and the opportunity for you to no longer identify as someone that is high anxiety, always feeling underwhelmed, is a chronic procrastinator, and can't ever find the success that you seek. My prayer is that you already have your goals and gratitude journal. But if you have not purchased your goals and gratitude journal, this is the perfect time for you to add it to your cart and go ahead and check out. You need structure, you need a system, you need a process, and you need a space to be able to journal your thoughts, feelings, emotion, and gratitude. Yes, you can do it in that journal that you got from TJ Maxx 15 years ago. But the Goals and Gratitude Journal offers you a space to write out your goals and how those goals relate to your gratitude and the other thoughts and feelings you have around what you're planning to do with your life. You see how they just go hand in hand? Honey, your girl tried to think of absolutely everything, including your mental decluttering ritual. This is going to be my challenge to you. Every single evening, and especially on Sunday, I want you to do these 3 steps so that you can end the cycle of self-sabotage. I want you to do a brain dump. If you're someone that suffers from the Sunday saddies, or also known as the Sunday blues, this is going to be an absolute game changer for you. Taking a moment and writing out everything that you need to accomplish for the week ahead allows you a sense of control and power over what you can expect over the next few days. There are things that are going to happen that you did not plan for, but how about planning for the things that you know you can control? After you have gotten everything onto a piece of paper, I want you to do step number 1, which was to assign a mental weight to each and every single one of your tasks. What kind of energy are you going to have to give to that task, and what is going to be the impact of you completing it? If something is falling below a 20%, make sure that you represent it as a lower level task, even though it's something that you still need to complete. There are tasks that I have on my to-do list that are weighted at 90%. We were in the middle of releasing a new planner and sending it to our vendor in China. Well, that has been met with a few challenges, and now we're having to make a pivot. What that pivot looks like, who produces it, when it's released, what's the launch date, what's the colors, what's the font, is going to require about 90% of my energy. But knowing exactly what I have to work on tomorrow, and the fact that I know that it's a heavy-weighted task, I'm ready for it. I already know what my expectations are whenever I go into my office on tomorrow. I know exactly what I need to do, and I know that the other 10% of the tasks that I need to accomplish on tomorrow should not be touched until I complete this one first. And the last task is that I want you to start journaling. Of course, I would love for you to have a goals and gratitude journal, but honey, at this point, the back of an old piece of mail or even a post-it will do. Every single night, I need for you to start journaling. Being able to write out the things that you're grateful for, unpacking your day, your feelings and emotions, and identifying and tracking your goals gives you a sense of peace and closure to that day. Oof, child, there's so much going on in our world right now. And honestly, it is so easy to sabotage our success. For some of us, we could feel like we're in a hopeless situation that is completely out of our control. But how about we decide to be in control of the things that we can control? These 3 simple tasks will help you to do just that. Oh, honey, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure if you have not done so already that you subscribe. Follow me on Instagram where I post content every single day to encourage and empower you. Make sure you get your goals and gratitude journal, doing clickish, and share this video with your sister, your best friend, your partner, and your mama because you deserve support as well. Sis, I love you, and I pray that you are well and that you're doing something every single day to reach your most ambitious goals.